I have the coolest hard hat in the history of construction. This hard hat was personally painted for me by Chip Foos, so it's completely got Ramon's paint job. And this lives in Kathy's office.
Under lock and key.
Under lock and key. Because this is very special. There you go.
Thank you.
Take it back to your office.
All right.
No, don't forget.
Cars Land really, Cars Land is the origins of Cars Land really comes from, you know, the idea of California Adventure, you know, when we needed to do something to it. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when it was not up to the level, from my mind, of a Disney park. It didn't have quite the theming and all that in it that it should have had. And when I was made Chief Creative Officer, and then also Bob Iger asked me to step in as Principal Creative Advisor for Walt Disney Imagineering, it was one of the first things, because being a Jungle Cruise skipper, growing up in Whittier, California, coming here all the time, Disneyland is just such an important part of my life, and it's so important, I think, for all of us. And I really felt that we needed to do something with California Adventure. I mean, I love the idea of another park there, but it needs to have a sense of place that like a Disney park has. You know, when you walk through that tunnel underneath the train station, you are transported. You know, you walk through the Adventureland sign past the Tiki Room, you are transported to another place in time. Through the castle, you're transported. You know, and that's what's so special, and I think part of why we all love just to be at Disneyland, you know. And so that was really the philosophy of coming in for all of us, coming into what are we going to do, you know, with this park. We need to bring that back. Cars Land itself is 12 acres. Radiator Springs Racers, the e-ticket ride, is the biggest ride Disney's ever built. It's 6 acres, the ride itself. It's 6 acres. It's amazing. And then, of course, pause for applause. You bet, baby. I will just take a moment to say, as a child, this was my favorite ride at Disneyland. I dream about it, and I looked forward to riding it all the time. And I'll never forget, I was so little, I was too light for it. And my dad had to ride with me, and we kind of sat sort of in the middle, and everybody bumped into us and stuff, you know. But I'll never, ever, ever forget it. And the sound, I mean, those who remember it, there's a particular sound to it, and the feeling, oh my goodness, it was so special, and the way it moved. And I think this has been one of those phenomenally, it's that carrot that Imagineering has always had in front of them to try to figure this out again, because it failed. And so the amazing Imagineers came up with a engineering solution for it, and so we decided to make it Luigi's Flying Tires, and it is so awesome. And we have some pictures later you can see, but it is one of the most cool and impressive rides. So it's like a gigantic air hockey table that you get to ride on. It's the best way to put it, really. It's exactly the same philosophy.
One of the challenges, and this is true on every attraction we do, is figuring out where are we in time of the story, because Cars is a world that evolves, and it has in Cars too. And so we said, well, when we're in Radiator Springs Racers, we want to be with the town. We want the feeling of the first film. Second film wasn't designed yet. We wanted to be in the first film, and so we wanted to see that Rusty's Lightning McQueen. And so we also wanted Doc to be our crew chief. And knowing that he's passed on by the second film, that placed us in what we call Cars 1.5. Out in the land, you're going to actually get to meet and greet with modern Lightning McQueen, Cars 2 Lightning McQueen, with his World Grand Prix styling. And so out in the land, we're in a post-Cars 2 world, and Cars of the world is going to continue to evolve and grow, and so that'll keep going as well. So what we had to do in so many places in the land and the attractions, figure out, well, how do we extend the world? Flo's a great place for food, but we found right away, well, we need to have seating. There's no room inside. So we actually ended up designing an expansion to Flo's. Right? Thank you. So there'll be plenty of indoor room. And what was really great was John said, okay, that's fantastic. wait, so that's at the end of the first movie? The town has revived because lightning has moved there and they've got a lot of new customers, so sure, flow would expand. And in fact, these are pictures from the Cars 2 model because John said, well, let's put that in the Cars 2 movie because that's in that same time period. So it was fun that the Imagineering design actually ended up in the film. We also knew that we needed to go into Ramon's and see Ramon at work because in Radiator Springs Racer, as John said, we can get a fresh paint job. So if you want to know who Ramon is, you just need to go to Chip Foos' shop. So we went down there for research, and it was fantastic. And he pointed out that he uses a green tape, which he didn't even particularly think much about, but he says there's a big market in South America where they see his show, and there's a big market for green tape. So we designed Ramon's shop, and we designed his control booth where he's actually going to control the system. And if you look on the back shelf, there's the green tape mixed in. And so we designed this for Radiator Springs Racers, and then John worked in the scene in the film Cars 2 where you needed to see Ramon's shop. And so that same fantastic color system ended up in the movie. And it's so good. It's the best in the world. In fact, it's the World O' Color custom paint system. So.